He looks at them and says, guys, why don't you put your nets on the other side of the boat? And they look at this guy and they know he's never fished a day in his life like them. They know he's not a professional. This isn't what he does for a living. He's a carpenter. He's not a fisherman. But he says, put your nets out on the other side. And the response is what Peter would say, chapter 5, verse 5. Master, we have worked all night long, but have caught nothing. Yet if you say so, I will let down the nets. I don't know if you've ever felt like this, where you've been looking for something. You're trying to catch anything. Maybe the reason someone is here today is because you're trying to catch something you don't have. Looking for a little bit of peace in a world that's full of conflict. Looking for a little bit of joy in the midst of all the despair that's around you. Looking for a little bit of hope in the midst of all the cynicism within you. Or looking for just a little taste of love to drown out the isolation you feel all too well. And you've put the nets out, and you've tried to do all the right things, but you get all of the wrong results. And you see other people who put their nets out, and it always seems to work for them, but it's not working for you. Have you ever felt like that? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Or maybe I should just stop doing it because no matter what I do, it never seems to give me the harvest that I'm looking for. But Jesus says to them maybe the same thing he says to us. Could you keep on trying to do this? Would you put this into practice? We've done a series for the last 10 weeks or so about the parables. We're going to pause that for a minute in the season leading up into Christmas. And we're going to talk about some of the most elemental components of the Christmas story. Hope, peace, joy, and love. Because I think a lot of us are doing the same thing that the disciples would end up doing, the fishermen would do, where you're looking for something and it never seems to appear. And what Jesus seems to say over and over again is you got to just keep putting the nets out. Just keep putting the nets out.